Welcome to the Funny Travel Stories podcast. I'm your host, Yiping Bao. Funny travel moments make a trip memorable, but have you ever thought that your most awkward experience, or even a secondhand embarrassment you felt, might have happened to others as well? Those unplanned, unexpected things that happened on your holiday can still have you giggling in the middle of the night. Each episode, you will hear my guests share funny travel stories, recommend places they have visited, and tell us about places they can't wait to visit. Today, this episode, I'm joined by An Ip, and An is
I'm a journalist at ITV News Central.
Right, yeah, I remember you told me about you previously worked at ITV Anglia. And
Yes, yeah.
You also have experience as a Daily Mirror working there as well.
Yes, yeah. So I've worked in newspapers, and then I moved to ITV News.
Right, so will you feel like you were more like excited about newsroom and TV news, or will you say newspaper like online news or newspaper newsroom is also exciting as well?
I think they're both news. Or all of them is news. I think for me, I've always been into videos. Even when I was working in newspapers, I just love like filming things. So I think it was just a natural progression into TV.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't planned, but it just happened.
Right. I saw several clips. You did a lot of like P2C, like you did some live reporting as well. I feel
Yeah.
that's really impressive. And I remember one of your coverage is about is it Mr. Bates versus the post office. I
Yeah.
remember you did like the social media clip about it.
Yeah.
I found that's really because for myself I also watched that documentary as well from ITV. I watched the whole thing and I feel that's really shocked, like how people's lives being affected.
Yeah. I think because I've been a journalist for quite a few years now, and I've always known about the post office scandal. So when I watched the documentary, the drama, this was stuff I already knew about, but it kind of brought it all to a human level, like, and I understood it emotionally rather than just knowing the facts. And I don't actually remember why I thought it would be a good idea to do a TikTok video about it. But I think I was just so like, I don't know, so moved, maybe outraged, maybe that's the right word. Just wanted to let people know about it. And because this drama was out, it was almost like an excuse to bring it to the spotlight again. But it's always something that I'd known about. It's just I didn't know about it in that much detail about the human and emotional side of it.
Right. And you told me about you sometimes go for like 1 week holidays. Is it
Yeah.
recently have you been to like any place? Have you been traveling in the UK or like traveling abroad?
Yeah, so I went to Vietnam recently. That was in September last year. Just went on a solo trip and I just really loved it. Like, just I love the food. The people are so friendly. I mainly went for the surfing, to be honest. So like the beach was really clean. I went to Da Nang. Yeah.
I've never been to Vietnam, but obviously the food is amazing. I heard a lot of people recommend to travel Vietnam. The weather
Yeah.
is nice. And is that like the first solo trip you was doing?
No, my first solo trip was the year before last. I went to Thailand, and so I'm basically doing like trying to go on trips every year. And I think in the past, when I was younger, I've always traveled with friends, but I don't know. I think I just wanted to try something by myself and have control of my timetable and kind of have that time by myself and just to do whatever I want whenever I want. So I went on my first solo trip to Thailand and I loved it. And I went to Vietnam last year as well.
Yeah. I could relate about you told me about like have like control in terms of like scheduling or planning the itinerary, like the trip as well. So I'm wondering like when you travel, can you think of any amusing or like bizarre, embarrassed moments you had before?
I think probably when I was in Thailand. So I went to go surfing. That was my plan, just to go to Thailand and go surfing every day. And the first day that I went, they gave me this massive board, massive surfboard, and I've been surfing before, so I kind of know what size board suits me. And I'm like a 5'2", 5'3" woman, right? Like really small. And they've given me this like 8 foot or 9 foot board. And it was just so wide as well. Like obviously like built for like men's shoulders. Because obviously larger boards it's easier to ride waves. And I was a beginner and they gave me this huge board for my lesson. And I just like, as I was paddling, I could feel the board just like rubbing on my arms. Again, I was rookie mistake. I was wearing shorts because, it's hot there. So I thought if you go surfing, you wear bikini or shorts or something. And then uh, the next day, I just like, well, after the surf lesson, I just felt like this burning in my arms and my knees and, like my legs. And the next day, I literally like couldn't. Everywhere was stinging. Basically it was like a rash, like
Yeah.
a surf rash from chafing on the board so much, and I couldn't even touch it without it stinging. So obviously I couldn't go surfing the next day, and that basically ruined my plans. And I had to, yeah, even like just going into the swimming pool, like I couldn't even swim because my body hurt so much. So I mean, I think that was a kind of like a bit of a fail, I guess. I had to rest for about 3 days before I could go on a surfboard again.
Sounds really painful.
Yeah, it was really painful. So the next, I made sure in Thailand to buy a rash vest and wear leggings to my next surf lesson.
Have you tried like surfing in the UK?
Yes. So before I lived in Birmingham, I was living in Norwich. And so I was about 45-minute drive away from the beach. And yeah, like in my days off, I would just go to the beach and hire a board and just like go surfing. At one point, I even had my own surfboard. So yeah, I love surfing. I mean, the waves in the UK can't really compare to Thailand or Vietnam, but it's still an opportunity.
Before I came to the UK, there's a university in Norwich. Got one of the offers from them, and I remember I just did my research, and then the view and then the vibe so different in Norwich. I remember even that university having like rapids in the campus. So I never been to Norwich, but I always imagine that place based on my research is so a bit like fairy tales or natural. It's close to nature.
It's honestly like so beautiful. It's a small city, but you feel so in touch with nature despite being in a city, and it's surrounded by like rural farms and rural fields. Yeah, I mean, just living in Norwich, I loved it. I would walk to work and just get lost in like the flowers and the trees and just look up at the sky and see the sunrise and sunset. These like small things like that. It just lifts your mood for no reason.
So you told me you went to Thailand and Vietnam. Are those like few weeks there, like a long holiday?
Yeah, so for me, I prefer to go on holidays that are relaxing because my job is so demanding. So for me, going on holiday is almost like just a break away from work and the chaos of everything. So I tend to go on like I tend to just spend like a week or two just in one place rather than travel around different places. So Thailand, I went the year before to Phuket. So I just stayed in this place called Kata in Phuket. And then in Vietnam, I went to Da Nang and I just stayed there basically, and, went to surrounding areas like Hoi An.
Yeah. So, I I feel like you visit there's some Asian countries, and then have you traveled to other countries like European or like the States, the US as well?
I haven't been to the States. European countries, I've been, obviously I live in England, so obviously I've been to
Many.
yeah, quite a lot. I've been to Spain, um, Valencia, Barcelona. In Italy, I've been to this middle part of Italy that nobody really knows about, and it's near the coast. It's called San Benedetto del Tronto. France, I've been on a ski trip. I've been to Paris. I've been to Budapest.
I've been to Budapest. I recently just came back from Barcelona. I really
Yeah.
enjoy the food there. I feel
Yeah.
like that is the country. I feel it's the first time I finish every meal. There's no food left. I
Yeah.
finish every meal there. The food, I really like it. Have you tried sangrias?
Yes, I love sangrias. It's just like red wine and fruits, isn't it?
It's sweet.
I know it's sweet. I didn't know that. I thought it was just, red wine and just some fruits dunked in there. But actually, like it infuses into the wine, and I just love it. Like, my first sangria was actually in Portugal.
Right.
Yeah.
But since you've tried both sangrias both in Portugal and Spain, do you feel like difference between like you feel like it's more authentic in Spain, like that what you say is tastes better?
I'm not really an expert. They taste good in both countries. But you always remember the first time you have something, right? And
Yeah.
I feel like for me, controversial, but that my first sangria in Portugal was the one that's stuck with me the most.
Right. So you went to also like Italy, France, like Paris. You say the middle part of Italy.
Yeah.
Is it could you I'm just curious because I went to Italy recently as well. I went to Florence and Pisa. The
Yeah.
Tower of Pisa, I visit there. I'm wondering, like, is there a reason that you want to visit like the middle part? You say not a lot of people heard of that.
Yeah,
place.
so that part of Italy, I went because I had a friend in Swindon who's Italian, and that was basically her hometown. So I basically went to visit her while she went home, and I kind of went with her, and we enjoyed Italy together. But because it was her hometown, it wasn't like a touristy spot. It was just somewhere that she had grown up and lived in and knew people. And also because it wasn't a touristy spot, everyone there was Italian and couldn't speak English. So it was just my friend bringing me around because nobody could understand what I'm saying, Like, I just learned how to say aqua, which is water. That's about it. And maybe grazie.
Grazie is
thank you.
okay.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I went to Florence and Barcelona. I feel like people if you like speak English, you have to be lucky when we ask for like directions, because sometimes I spoke to people and they don't speak English.
Yeah.
But I cannot imagine like you went to those, like the place is not kind of like tourist place.
Yeah.
For me, I feel for my solo traveling, I tend to go to like big cities. But because you have friends there and like a tour guide over there.
Yeah. It was like, I absolutely loved it because it was so Italian as well. It just felt like you were experiencing life as an Italian rather than thinking, oh, is this just like somewhere for tourists? Do actual Italians actually come to this restaurant? I remember they had a dish there that was quite unique to that province or that place in Italy. I've forgotten now.
Is it like tapas, like small things?
Yeah,
food?
kind of. Yeah, I think it was fried olives. The only way I can describe it, it's like a fried olive mixture, but inside there's like bits of fish in it.
Wow. How do you manage to put fish in the olive?
I have no idea. No, it's not an actual olive. So I think they ground up the olives or they chop it up and they have this like batter that they put it in, and that's the casing for it. And inside that casing there's like bits of fish.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was like the best thing I've ever had in that place in Italy. And the people there were so friendly as well.
Yeah, you mean Italian?
Yeah.
When I went to Italy, and then the first day I arrived is in the middle, in the middle of the night in Pisa. So I imagine Pisa is like a tourist place.
Yeah.
I feel it would be crowded, but actually I was lost and I couldn't find a hotel. And then I realized there's a police car,
Yeah.
but it's written in Italian. I'm not sure if there's a police car,
Yeah.
but he said, and the lady just put down the window and say, "Oh, do you need help?" in really strong Italian accent.
Yeah.
And then they helped me manage to locate the hotel.
Yeah.
I feel Italian
Yeah.
are really nice. And I remember when I entered the hotel and then the receptionist, I realized like the adapter I brought is different from some European countries.
Yeah.
So I told the receptionist, say, I think I cannot charge my phone. And then the receptionist also using his strong Italian accent,
Yeah.
trying to find a lot of running up and down
Yeah.
different storage rooms, and
Yeah.
trying to manage to get a charger for me. They are really nice.
I honestly think like the people make such a big difference
Yeah.
to your holiday or wherever you're traveling to. If the people are nice, like you just love that place so much more. If the people aren't nice, it just kind of ruins your experience. And there are some places where I think I don't want to go back just because of the people. And with Italy, it's like that's the thing that stuck with me the most, is that people are so lovely, so friendly. Like they just give you compliments for no reason. They're so expressive, and I just love it. I think that's like a big reason why I love Italy, and the food and the beach.
Right. When you say apart from that, all a little like a side food, olive food, is there any food you really like feel really impressive like in Italy? Like, is there any other food you really like it?
I really, obviously, like I really love the pizza, but who wouldn't? But before I went to Italy, I didn't realize that there was such a thing as white pizza. Have you had white pizza?
I feel it's a shame of me didn't try any pizza in Italy.
Yeah, apparently.
I never tried white pizza.
Yeah, so apparently in Italy they have like, the Italians call it red pizza and white pizza. And the red pizza is obviously what we know. They have, red tomato sauce base. White pizza, I'm not entirely sure, but it's definitely not tomato sauce. And that's the one thing that stuck with me, is that I just love the white pizza for some reason. It just had a different kind of like creamy, umami kind of flavor to it that wasn't like tomatoey or sweet. It was just very simple in terms of flavor.
Yeah, I feel it sounds delicious.
Yeah.
I definitely want to try it if I like a white pizza.
Yeah.
It's actually my first time heard of white pizza.
Yeah, I know. I also had my first Aperol Spritz as well in Italy. When my friend, because I remember my first day, we sat down by the beach cafe area, and my friend was like, "Oh, do you want any drinks? Do you want like an Aperol Spritz?" At that point, I was still very young. I had no idea what an Aperol Spritz was. I thought it was like an apple juice. And then they came over with like the Aperol Spritz, and it was orange. And I just had a taste. I was like, "Oh, this doesn't taste like apple juice." There's definitely alcohol in here. But yeah, since that day, I have loved Aperol Spritz. It just reminds me of sitting by the beach with my friend in Italy.
Yeah. That sounds so nice. I have my first Aperol Spritz in Budapest.
Yeah.
And I feel I also love it. And you also mentioned you traveled to Budapest.
Yeah.
Have you seen that beautiful parliament?
I probably have, but
a shining building.
I probably didn't register it because I went to Budapest for a hen do.
Okay.
And I was with like, I think 9 other girls. Well, I think we were a group of 10 or something. So we were doing like very hen do stuff, just like going to is it the spa?
Yeah.
We went to hot springs.
I think they call it spa. Is it?
Yeah.
Like outdoors. Or
Yeah.
Indoors?
Yeah. So we went to the spa. We went drinking, nights out. It was very like Hindu activities. So I can't boast about knowing too many cultural landmarks while I was there.
It sounds like you guys have a good time.
Yeah, it was a great time.
So, among those places you have visited, is there any place or places you want to recommend to me and the listeners?
Well, I would say definitely I would recommend Vietnam. So I actually went the day after a big storm. So if I'd flown the day before, my flight would have been cancelled. But I went there and it was quite gloomy, rainy, windy, but I could see people were already cleaning up the beach after the storm. And, despite this big storm, like I just felt like everything was so clean, and the beach was beautiful, and the food, I just love the food. They're just so like, food and drink combinations you would not think work together. Vietnamese people just go, yeah, I'll do that. For example, pineapple
Wow.
juice and coffee, egg coffee. Have you tried egg cream coffee?
No.
Yeah, definitely try it. It's one of my favorites. And yeah, just like pho, bún chả, like just like the classics. I just love the food. So good food, wonderful people, and the beach is clean. So I recommend Vietnam, Da Nang in Vietnam.
Personally, I also love pho.
Yeah.
I remember when I traveled to Denmark, Copenhagen, and my first meal, that was so cold, and I feel I want some hot food, and I had pho in
Yeah.
like Nordic countries.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's like I feel like when I travel to different countries, I will kind of force myself to try the local food.
Yeah.
But that's like already like only a few times, like on like I already tried something not their local food when I
Yeah.
travel. But normally, like for example, Budapest, I try like lacos or like
Yeah.
there's chimney cake,
Yeah.
like a dessert.
Yeah.
I really love to go to like local markets, try their local
Yeah,
food.
I know. Like I like, same with me when I go to countries where I love the food. I always like make an effort to go to the local places that local people will go to. So in Vietnam, people say like the lower the stool, or like the lower the seat, the more authentic it is. So I literally went into places where like I was sat down and my knees were like up here because the stool was so low down, and I was just like, just having food that other local people were having. And it wasn't like a comfortable restaurant. There was no air conditioner as well, so it was like boiling in there. But it was just very simple food that local people would have, and I just felt like, it's that kind of like, you feel that kind of connection, I guess, with the local place when you have the food that they enjoy, and you can share that.
That sounds fun. But when you try that place, you need to have your knees like this.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you enjoy the food over there? When you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to sit down like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. For me, I think like travel, it's always about the people.
Yeah.
So for me, food is about people. I just want to try the foods that local people enjoy. Whereas sometimes when you go into the more touristy places, you do kind of think, is this kind of adjusted for tourist palates? Whereas like for me, I just like the feeling of knowing that I'm eating the food that local people actually eat and enjoy as well. So I just want to try out their food,
Yeah, yeah. I feel it's also like similar to some situations in Taiwan.
Mm,
I'm originally from Taiwan, and then some places like local people won't go to some fancy restaurants. Like when they want some delicious food, they will go to some places. Possibly it's not that clean, but
yeah,
it's like a lot of reviews are really high on Google Maps, and
yeah,
local people always recommend those places, although it's not like a fancy restaurant. So I kind of understood what you tell me about like your experience in Vietnam.
yeah, yeah. And it's not just Vietnam. I think like it kind of goes for anywhere. I kind of like to seek food that just everyday people enjoy and just normal people enjoy. Rather, I don't really enjoy fancy restaurants that much, just because I feel a bit disconnected. It almost feels a bit like, is this kind of just for show? Or like, is this just kind of just serving a minority of people who can afford it rather than the majority of people? And I always try to, I always enjoy more casual local restaurants.
Yeah. Okay. So, I want to know, a last question I want to ask you is there any place or places you haven't been to before, but you really want to go there in the future?
Well, I am planning to go to Busan in Korea. Um, I mean, it's not that deep. It has a beach. So I can go surfing, but also I can, I've never really been to Korea. So I do want to like try out their food, and all the Korean food I've had is from the UK. So it, I don't know. I feel like they kind of like dumb down the flavors. It's not as spicy. So I would like to try Korean food and see what it's really like.
Oh, and I was little. I believe my first time going abroad is my mom took me and my cousins to go to a Seoul in South Korea.
Yeah, Seoul.
So
Yeah.
I was like a teenager, like around like 10 to 12 years old. I feel
Mm.
well before I traveled to South Korea, I
Yeah.
did watch like K-drama or like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of like different celebrities. And then I feel wow, people on the street, they are so beautiful. Like even on the street, you
Really?
could feel wow, people are beautiful here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
They are not
wow.
exaggerated in
Yeah.
K-drama. I feel like people are beautiful, and not only that, like food is amazing. I really love. I remember every meal there in Korea, South Korea, they always have kimchi,
Yeah.
like the side food. Do you
Yeah.
like kimchi?
Yeah, I love kimchi. Yeah. It's just like I think I like fermented foods. It's the umami taste, isn't it? Like the best umami flavors are fermented. Soy sauce is fermented soybeans. Kimchi fermented. Even wine is fermented. I just love fermented foods.
So you feel like the fermented food have that umami?
Yeah, it just has like a depth of flavor, doesn't it? Like, fermented bean curd, or like, fish sauce.
Yeah.
That's fermented fish. Like it just brings out, like amplifies the natural flavors. Yeah, that's why I like kimchi.
You say you are planning to go there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, when is it?
Maybe in the summer. Yeah.
I think you will enjoy it. You'll have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. And I think like I'd like to go to Busan as well, because, I've never been to Korea. So I think naturally people would go to Seoul because that's the capital. But for me, I like smaller cities. So I always tend to go to the smaller cities rather than the big cities. And with Busan as well, there's a beach. I can go surfing. I think for me, it's the appeal of it being a smaller, maybe hopefully more relaxed city, or not so busy city near the beach, and attractive people.
Have you ever heard of Jeju
Yeah.
Island?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they have also beautiful beaches
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, I mean it's in all the K-dramas, right? It's like the Korean holiday spot, right? Like people from Seoul, if they want to escape city life, they go to Jeju Island. I mean, yeah, maybe I would like to go in the future.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I like a more relaxing place, but I also want some things to do. So for me, I'm kind of like in between. Like big cities like London are too much for me, but somewhere that's too quiet, like the Cotswolds, is too quiet for me. So I like things that are in between, like small cities like Norwich are perfect.
Right. Well, I'm just wondering, like, you recommend any like your favorite city in the UK? For me, I really love London,
Yeah.
and I'm just wondering if you have like, your favorite city.
Yeah, my favorite city is Norwich. So that I lived there for about 2 years and I absolutely loved it. It's a small city, so there's still loads of things to do. But it's just so beautiful, like the way the buildings are, but also you can see the sky. Like I remember, in the winter and autumn and spring, every evening you could see the sunset because you could just see the whole sky, and you could see like the purples and pinks. Like I remember one time I just sat outside my window, just like looking at the sky, and you get lost in the summer, you get lost in the cherry blossoms. So it's just like little things like that. But also it's a short drive away from the beach where, you know, places like Cromer, Horsey Beach, you can see the seals in winter. So Norfolk has one of the biggest seal colonies in the country, which means that every winter, you know, the seals come to the beaches of Norfolk to breed, and then they give birth on the beach. So every, I think, November, December time, you'll see like the beaches of Horsey littered with baby seals.
Wow. That's
Like
really cool.
and mummy seals as well, but like you can see like the little baby, like they're so fluffy, and I just love it. It's just, yeah, it's a spectacle. It is definitely worth going to.
I feel it's a shame of me because I am living next week, but it's a shame of me that I never visit Norwich before.
Yeah,
But possibly in the future, I'm coming back to the UK and visit Norwich.
yeah. Have you been to many places in the UK?
I've been to Norfolk, right?
Yeah.
You know, Ipswich.
Yes.
Isn't near Norwich?
Yes,
And then-
Ipswich is in Suffolk.
Right. I went to Ipswich for interview for my news documentary.
Mm.
I actually travel around for like interviewing like my interviewees.
Yeah.
Like I travel to Kent or Bristol,
Mm.
and not only about apart from work, I also travel like for leisure. I went to Newcastle, Liverpool,
Yeah.
Edinburgh, Wales, Cardiff, and you caught it in Wales. You caught it in Wales, and London, Nottingham.
So you've been to a lot of places, so it's not like you haven't travelled around.
But I haven't traveled to Norwich. Like
Yeah.
the way you describe it is nice.
Yeah. I tend to like sell Norwich to a lot of people. I think with Norwich, it's I call it a hidden gem because it's not just you. A lot of British people don't really know much about Norwich, and they don't travel there because the transport connections are just so bad. It's almost like an isolated city. So the idea is that like nobody travels there and nobody leaves the place. So it is a bit of an unknown place. So it's not just you.
Right. Since you like surfing, right?
Yeah.
Well, you say how often do you go surfing?
Well, now that I'm living in Birmingham, I don't go surfing very often or at all. But that's why I try to go on holidays where I am by the beach and I can go surfing because I just love it so much. I don't get to do that where I live. So yeah, every year I try to go surfing at least once. And when I was living in Norwich, obviously, like I could just go to the beach and like bring my surfboard. I'm not going to say I'm not a seasoned surfer. I'm just like someone who enjoys surfing.
I think I never tried surfing before. Only tried snorkeling.
Yeah. I love it. I don't know. It's just like I think I just love water activities. Like I've done it all, like stand-up paddleboarding, canoeing, swimming. I just love it all. I think with surfing, it's just a bit more exciting because it's a bit faster, like fast paced.
Yeah.
And you get to like when you ride the wave as well, you feel so connected with the water. Like you figured it out, you know, how to ride the wave. What's your funny travel story then?
Oh, that's a good question. So I actually shared some in my previous episodes, but I could know how you feel now. Recently, I went to Barcelona, Spain.
Yeah.
And I interviewed one of the guests. Have you heard of the Race Across the World from BBC show? So he's one of the contestants. And then he told me, I feel he's kind of like travel expert.
Yeah.
And he say, when solo traveling, you have to act confident. So when I went to Barcelona solo traveling, I feel I act so confident. And in a platform, in a train station, I act so confidently.
Yeah.
And then there's a Spanish guy asked me if that is his train. And I say, I'm sorry, I only speak English. I feel like in Barcelona, I've been asked by a lot of people in Spanish.
Yeah.
They asked me in Spanish, say, is that their train? Another lady also came to ask me, is that their train?
Yeah.
But I remember I didn't just like a staff, like
Yeah.
obvious. I'm not sure why they asked me, but probably
Because you were acting too confidently.
Pretend, yeah. So confident. Yeah, I remember when I ordered a coffee in Spain, in Barcelona. Is it Casa Mila, the building by Gaudi? And anyway, there is a cafe downstairs, and then I've ordered my cafe, and then just trying to walk away, and then there's two people ask me, "Oh, where did you order your coffee?" And I keep telling my mom, saying, "Mom, why people here keep asking me for directions?"
Yeah.
And then she kept laughing. I remember there's once I forget it is in Budapest or Copenhagen. So it's also solo traveling. I just follow the signs, those undergrounds or trains. Say for example, exit 1. I just follow the sign exit 1, exit 1, exit 1.
Yeah.
And suddenly the sign disappeared.
Oh,
And
right.
I'm in the middle of nowhere. I don't
Yeah.
know. So where should I go next? Should
Yeah,
I go
yeah.
left or go right?
Yeah.
So it's fun. Like some unexpected things just suddenly happened, or
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if it's like, I'm not going to bill it as funny, but like unexpected thing that happened on my Vietnam trip, because I travel a lot solo. I go as a break away from the chaos, so not to make friends. I don't really intend to speak to people really, or like meet people in hostels and stuff. But as I was waiting for the bus to go to Hoi An, which is a very touristy place, there were two other guys there who were also tourists, and I had to ask them, is this the bus to Hoi An? And then like that's and then I met my travel friends. But it was funny because like we all spoke different languages, and somehow we just stuck together because there was a Korean guy. But he could speak like a bit of English, like very broken English. And then there was a Chinese guy his English wasn't so good. So the Korean guy and the Chinese guy, they were struggling to understand each other. But because like I could speak English and I could also speak a bit of Chinese and also understand a bit of Chinese, I kind of like became the translator. And so like, it was like, we spent the whole day in Hoi An just like not understanding each other and having very broken and difficult conversations. But we ended up like going on those kind of coconut boats, the spinning ones, the fast spinning ones on Instagram. And we went on those together. And then we went to the lantern boats in Hoi An. And then afterwards we went for like drinks and dinner, and we stayed up in Hoi An until like 1 a.m. or midnight, something silly. Like you wouldn't think it because like it's not like we can communicate very well. And especially in a loud bar as well. It was a lot of Google Translate.
And I believe like they have to use their hands to try to describe what they're trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's like, should we go? Should we go home?
Those two people are those solo travelers.
Yeah, they were also solo traveling. I think the Korean guy was a bit lonely, so he was quite happy to have two travel companions. Because he drunk so much, he kept being like, "Oh, I'm so glad I met you guys, and like you really made my trip," and he was so sweet. And the Chinese guy, he was just traveling. I think like he'd quit his job and was kind of like trying to find his passion and like kind of get to know the world a bit more.
Yeah. Explore.
Yeah, exactly. He was like typical backpacker guy.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, you had a real mix because like he was like typical backpacker guy, and and then you had the Korean guy who was a bit older. He was kind of like more into the luxury stuff, and there was just me that was like kind of like I'm just here for a week or two in one place, just trying to enjoy my holiday and do something peaceful and quiet.
That's funny.
Yeah, I loved it.
I really enjoyed like our chat today, and towards the end of this episode, thanks again for spending your time and talk to me and the listeners as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Right.